Today is March 30th, which means we're 2 days away from my favorite holiday of the year, April Fools. Every year in Chinese newspaper, we do a special issue for every April Fools. Last year, we designed the entire magazine so that it looks like absolute crap. I'll put it on the screen so you guys can see. This year, we're trying to convince people that our school is installing new 5G antennas. Our school has this reputation among the students that our internet speed is really slow, and people not only make fun of it but also wishes that maybe the internet speed could get a little bit faster. So this year on April 1st, we're going to publish a newspaper article announcing that we're getting 5G antennas installed in the school. And my job is to take a photo and then Photoshop it so that we can see the 5G antenna in the school to convince people that this is actually happening. I'm not sure if I want to make it as ridiculous as possible or if I want to actually make this look real, so we shall see. This is basically where I'll be taking the photo. You can see my school in the background, sort of. Oh shit, this is totally wet. Ew. Okay, the goals for today is not to take the best photo I can. The goal for today is to try to take the clearest photo I can, because this is going to be like a photojournalist where it's not gonna have like the best colors. It's gonna be like almost look like a snapshot, which is going to add to the realism of this. It's sort of like something you would see on a typical news site, and that's what I'm trying to do. So I've gone up this bridge so that we can have a more clear shot of the school building. Our school is... Holy shit, these buildings all look exactly the same. I don't know if you can see it, but that's our school building. Yeah, this is not a clear shot. We're gonna find a better angle. Alright, you can see the building right there. This is not an angle that we typically see, so it's not registered as THIS, because basically all of this side is blocked by Tsinghua, and then we only see the school from the other side, which is where we were. Probably go on the other side and see if we can find a shot over there. Alright, this is a little gate from my school. We can't see it from here. Let's see if we can get a shot. Yeah, you can't really see the sky, which is where we'll be photoshopping the tower, so this doesn't work. Okay, we're at the back of the school now, and then we have this soccer field, which is 12-zhong soccer field. The first problem is we got this giant fence, which we have to composite it, basically mask it out, which is going to be annoying. Second, we don't actually see the school, but I think this is a great place because it would be really funny if we just Photoshop the giant, like the tree pole thing in the middle of the soccer field. This is great, you don't even see it. Alright, I think we got this. Actually, we need to take 3 photos. 1 for the cover page and 2 for the inside cover. So I still gotta think what to do with the inside cover. I don't know. Let's see if we can find some other angles. Alright, this is the main gate for the school. I think it'll be cool if you Photoshop a satellite tower on top of this stone thing. Might be cool, let's do it. That's all the photos that we have to take. This place has a shit ton of mosquitoes. I'm gonna like go home and process these images. Yeah, I'm gonna show you what it looks like after it's being photoshopped now, so you can see it. Hopefully we can get some reactions. I don't know how to get reactions online school, but we'll see. Cool, bye. Alright, let's do a quick visual effects breakdown of how this is done. This ended up being a little bit more complicated than I thought. I thought I can just like grab a image off the internet and then Photoshop it, composite it in. But that's not possible, because if you just take a random image off the internet, the perspective and the lighting wouldn't be exactly the same as the one that I'm shooting, right? So when I'm taking photos, I only have these angles to work with. If any of these things are off, even if just by a little bit, you're gonna be able to tell. So what I did is I grabbed a 3D model off the internet. The general workflow is basically we're going to match the perspective, we're going to match the lighting, and then we're going to render that out of Maya into Photoshop, where we're going to comp it and we're going to color grade it. The advantage of doing that is I have absolute control over exactly what the model looks like, the exact lighting of the scene, and also the perspective of the camera. I'm really bad at Maya. If you have any suggestions on anything I can improve on, please leave it in the comment below. I would love to read them. Please help me out. Alright, let's get into the behind the scenes. So the first thing I did is I created a camera. We have the metadata from the file, and I know this focal length is 25 millimeters. And that's basically the field of view of the scene. The second thing I did is I projected an image plane with this camera, right? So we know that when we see through this camera, we see the shot, right? That makes sense, right? Because we shot it with a camera, and then that's what the camera saw. And the cool thing is that if you move this camera around, that image plane shifts with you, right? So if I shift it up and down, you can see this background plane rotating because it knows that that's what the camera saw. Next, we're going to match the perspective. We have this stone block thing, which is great for matching perspective because it is cube sort of shaped thing. So if we just built that out in 3D and we try to match it, we can be able to guess the angle that the camera shot this at. As you can see, if we look through this camera right here, these are going to line up, right? As you can see on the left. That basically indicates that we have found our perspective, and this is actually the angle that I took the photo in real life, which means that when we place stuff into the shot, the perspective is going to match. So we're going to bring in the 3D model. I found this, I think that it costs a little bit of money, which I think is totally justified considering that it saves me like 10 hours of work, which, yes. Now we just need to move it to the right location. Luckily, we do know where that location is, which is right here, right on top of this cube, right? Right on top of here. So if we just move everything over, it should line up. Let's turn off wireframe so that we can see what this looks like. This perspective looks right. I just position it like this. I think this looks pretty good. Now we have all the perspective and the model matched up. The next thing is we're going to bring in lighting information. Lighting information can get really tricky. A way to overcome this is by shooting what we call an HDRI image. HDRI image is basically a HDR image of an entire 360 scene. It's going to capture everything around me, including what's in front of me, what's behind me, everything. It's a lot like a world map, right? Because the world is round, apparently. And if you take that and then if you unwrap it into a flat surface, it's basically a 360 image. It's going to give me realistic lighting information as if this model is actually in the scene. It's also going to give me realistic reflection information. I don't know if there are any reflections on my glasses, but with the HDRI image, we know exactly what's on these reflections. However, I cannot get an HDRI image in this case, but I can find an HDRI image online that sort of resembles the lighting information in this scene. So I found an HDRI image online. It looks something like this. So this is a 360 scene unwrapped into a flat image. And if we bring this into Maya, it can use this as information for the scene, for the 3D model. So if you render this right now, it's going to look something like this. It's going to look like as if this model is actually in this space. And then if we change the camera to our camera shape 1, which is the camera that we previously set, you can see it's getting pretty realistic. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to texture this. This actually came with a texture pack, which is really nice. So we're going to link it. This looks really good. Yeah, so if you render it now, it looks like this. Couldn't quite figure out how to make this transparent, so I just brought it into Photoshop, key out the background. That's all easy stuff. And as you can see, when we slap on this background, it already looks very realistic. But obviously, this model is in front of the stone thingy, and that's obviously not realistic, right? So, and the next thing, we just brought it behind the stone things. And then the next thing is just color grading like a normal photo. So it looks something like this, which I really like. I think it turned out really well. Okay. This is the final image. I hope it doesn't look too fake. I hope when people see this, they will actually for a second believe this is actually real. I think this is a very cool April Fool's prank. It's very hardcore. It's all like Maya and CGI shit, which is a little bit over the top, but I really enjoy this process. Yeah, and then now we're just gonna wait until this thing publishes and then see if people have any reactions. Alright, today is April 1st, April Fool's. It's 8:27 at night. We just posted the newspaper article. This looks so good. Nothing beats the excitement of pulling a prank and then having it actually work. This is probably one of the most hardcore pranks I've ever done. Last year we pranked our teacher by switching his sriracha sauce with ketchup. He loves his sriracha. He freaking hates ketchup, and then we switched it up. And he actually didn't notice the difference. Well, he did notice the difference. He didn't know it was a prank, even though we did it on April 1st. he was really confused that his bottle was switched off, and then he tasted it and was like, oh, this probably something went wrong during the shipping, and then probably this batch is like a bad batch. He didn't even think about April 1st, which is interesting. And then we were hinting at him. I was like, how's your hot sauce and stuff? We're hinting at him for like 3 days, and then he was like, do you guys do something to my hot sauce? And then he finally realized it was a prank. That was so great. But this is so much more hardcore. 我们底下都已经写了 disclaimer 了，然后估计他们没读完，然后真的信了，然后还问我们这是不是愚人节。This feels so good. 然后里头我们那个 testimony 还放了3个 testimony， 是 M 同学、L 同学和 W 同学，其实就是 Michelle、Leon 和 Winnie。然后这3个我刚发现这彩蛋，然后在这里头 Michelle、Leon、Winnie 就是我们3个，就是加上 Tina 就写这文章的人，就是咱们现在中报的 leader， 再加上还有一个那个 Jessica。I just found the hidden Easter egg. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it's been 4 hours since we posted the original article, and we've got some really great comments. People are playing along and then pranking everyone else that this is a prank, which is really cool. We got some great comments. We're gonna pin it on the screen right now so you can see. And this is by far the best April Fool's prank I've ever pulled off. Hope you enjoy the video. See you around.